stay awake. I'm just kidding.
Facts.
Okay. Showing good. Okay, there we go. Let's just get into it. What is up, guys? It's your boy Sean Flac 2.0 coming at you live and direct from the studio here on a it's not that hot. It's not that hot today, but you know, it is a little bit of a temperature here where I'm at in the garage. I'm pretty sure it doesn't compare to some other folks that are here in the studio. But with me here in the studio, again, my name's Sean Flac 2.0. In the up here, I got Mr. Krinlee. Mr. Krinlee, how we doing this evening?
Doing pretty good. How's it going?
Okay, all right, pretty good. And I got Njord up here as well. Njord, what's up, man?
How's it going? Just trying to survive.
Right, you tell it, brother. So yeah, today, a little bit of a catch up. There wasn't really that major thing of a topic. I know my kids are getting ready to go back to school. Mr. Krinlee said his kids are going back within the next month or so. And yeah, yours is not even there yet, right?
So no, she did start daycare on Monday.
Oh,
that does have the Abeka education program.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, summer's, it's dwindling down for us as far as our household goes. But I know you guys still got a little bit more time, as far as Krinlee goes for the kids and stuff like that. And yeah, so today was just, we were just going to catch up real quick. Njord wanted to speak on a little bit of heat, where he's at. The heat is sweltering. He wanted to give,
the heat is on.
Njord is an outdoor worker. He's out there in the trenches or whatever. He wanted to share some of the ideas that he had and things that he does to kind of keep himself safe while he's out there. So we'll talk about that.
And also tips for you guys who have kids that want to find activities with said kids that are out of the heat.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
We got a couple items I could add to that one on our side. But okay, before we get started, Mr. Krinlee, what we got to do?
We got to do what is in your cup.
What is in your cup? Okay, Krinlee.
I'm double fisting tonight. Right now it's Red Bull. Oh, I'm over here. Red Bull. Not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
And then, of course, the hazy little thing.
They ain't paying me for it yet.
Right.
Yeah.
You're not.
I'm waiting for my wings.
Who was that? PD
Caribou Lou.
There was.
Tech 9.
No, he was like. I forgot what he said. I'm drinking and he paying me for it. I forget what his.
No, Tech 9 at the end of Caribou Lou goes, because I drink it, but they don't pay me for it.
Oh, well, I was going off of another thing. I was going off a rapper. He was like, shout out to Seagram's Gin. He goes, shout out to Seagram's Gin because I drink it and they paying me for it. So, and I forget if that's like PD Pablo or was that somebody else.
PD Pablo.
Yeah, hey, North Carolina, right?
Wow. Born and raised up.
So I wonder who played off of who.
I'm pretty sure he must have played off of them because Tech 9, I believe, is... was longer in the game than PD Pablo. So.
Yeah.
So, okay. Njord, what do you got?
I don't know.
That's how hot it is. You're just like, I'll drink anything that's liquid.
He's like, honey, fill this up. I don't care what you put in it.
It's bourbon.
Right. Is it good?
It's Jameson. Okay.
I mean, okay. I assumed that's what it was going to be, right? Because I don't think you drink.
You never know.
Oh, okay.
If you don't know, now you know.
Now you know. Okay. Okay. So I got my little special cup. This just has like some water and some ice and some lemonade flavor stuff, and then of course I got a Diet Coke. Also not sponsored, but yeah. So because it's a little hot in here. Okay, so let's get started. Let's talk about the heat.
Oof.
I don't need to go first because it's not really that hot here compared to where you guys are living. So, oh, I did want to say something about some early morning or early show shout outs. I did want to acknowledge the tragic floodings that were happening in Texas and just around, these acts of God or whatever you want to call them that are going on around the country. I don't know, potentially in your guys' parts as well, but just wanted to say, thoughts and prayers out to all the families, to the first line responders, the people out there that were out there doing their best to search and rescue and, aid the recovery and all that stuff. So I want to make sure I talked about that and acknowledged what was going on there because that was a major thing that happened within the last couple of weeks.
So many young lives lost.
Yeah.
Yes.
In that. And it got me thinking, okay? Obviously, if you get swept aside in waters like that, there's only like a 50-50 chance whether you're surviving it to begin with. It's a fact. I'm not trying to anything like that at all. But one thing that I did notice and that I instantly started thinking about was we need to start teaching survival to our kids again. Because there were quite a few of those girls that ended up passing days after the floods hit, and it's because they didn't know how to either find food, find water, find these things, just basic things where if a tragedy like that happens,
how do you survive in the
they didn't
wilderness?
know.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, and not like I'm not talking like months and months. I'm talking just a couple days, right? To be able to get help, but just like the very basic stuff.
Or one of the things that to kind of add to that is like map reading. Like if you had a map,
wayfinding.
Yeah,
wayfinding.
Yeah, like I know where I am and where I need to go to get to, the food or get back to safety and things like that. So yeah, that's very true. Especially if you're in an area that's like that. Like you want to definitely, depending on where you're living, to teach your kids the survival skills to get through, whatever that you can,
Well, and let's be honest, and I'm not gonna sit here and say women aren't capable of this. Just statistically, okay, it's gonna fall on our shoulders, gents.
Oh yeah.
I mean, teaching our kids on how to do this stuff, it's gonna fall on our shoulders. So start kind of stepping up and listening and teaching your kids how to make it.
And you know what? And that doesn't necessarily always you got to take them to the wilderness, but I mean, even the urban jungle, teaching them how to read a bus schedule and how to get on the bus and, how to kind of navigate urban areas as well. And knowing how to walk down the street and you don't put yourself in precarious situations where, something could happen to you or whatever the case is. So wherever you live, that's definitely good sound advice, So yeah,
that's what I had on that is that food for the let's make something out of this tragedy, right? And for me, that's that knowledge that okay, I need to prepare my daughter for running through this like these other girls did.
Right. Okay. Okay. So let's get into it. What are you guys doing to beat the heat?
Krinlee, do you want to start? Because I'm going to talk longer than you. Mister, I work in an office.
I do. But hey, now, there are locations that I have to go to that sometimes it's quicker for me to walk than it is to go out to the van, start it up, and take off. So I do occasionally walk out in the heat, even though I'm not slaving out in the heat.
Right.
Like the water workers and the electricians. But, I mean, I don't know. It's been rough here because it's like you could stand in front of a fan or the AC and you're like, oh, that feels good. And literally the second you walk out of it, it's like, why did I do that?
How hot is
it? It's almost hard to beat the heat.
Yeah, how hot is it? Has it been getting out there for you?
I don't even look anymore because it's just like it's miserable. I don't even want to fucking know.
It's hit miserable. Okay, like that's the heat.
It's where like you you open the door and it takes your breath away. Hot. It's been
And
nuts.
not in a good way.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No.
No.
But I mean, there's always swimming if you have access. Luckily, I work for the city, so I can go to the rec anytime I want to and jump in the as long as they're open and jump in the pool. But unfortunately, mostly staying inside. If I go outside, it's because I have to.
So no cutting the grass or anything like that until the sun goes down. Things like that.
That's a have to. That's a have
That's
to.
a have to. That's a have to.
There is. I can't. Yeah, I've been threatened with, not this year, but it's been years now. But I've been threatened with citations if I didn't cut my grass.
Oh wow.
So yeah, I keep that shit somewhat.
Okay.
Plus, if I keep it good and don't let it grow too high, then that's less time I have to spend out there
Right.
each time.
Right. Next thing you know, you're gonna like rip it all up and just put gravel down and say forget it.
Yeah, just start
low maintenance.
Just spray kerosene in the yard and light it on fire.
Man, I used to wait 2, maybe 3 weeks to cut my grass at a time.
Mm-hmm.
It takes forever. I'm doing it every weekend now.
Yeah.
Like, come on, let's just. There we go.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then it's been raining just about every day here, at least for like 15 minutes, and that's
Lucky.
just enough to make it lucky.
Miserable.
No, it's not cold rain. It's
so cold
go
rain
fuck
that-
yourself rain.
Wow.
No, it's not cold. It's not
No,
cold.
it's.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I was talking
It's
earlier
that
about
hot,
swamp
tropical,
ass.
humid rain.
Yeah, it's like you open the door and sweat just starts beating down automatically,
I'm
and
good. Yeah. Right. Yeah. As many times as I think about moving out of California, like the weather, I'm good. I'm okay where I'm at. I can't. Yeah.
and we got mosquitoes the size of buzzard hawks out here. It's
well, we were planning on
fucking
moving
ridiculous.
to Florida, and right before.
Oh no,
COVID
they're
happened.
worse.
Well, that was like
They're
you said,
worse.
before
Hey,
COVID.
Where did I tell you? Where did I tell you?
I don't know. Where did
Johnson City, Tennessee,
Oh.
brother. I'm still sitting here. I'm looking back there like I thought those summers were bad, but god damn, they were amazing.
compared to where you're at now. Yeah, so a friend of mine, or one of my coworkers, not a friend of mine, but one of my coworkers, she had moved from Jacksonville where we were gonna move, and she was like, "Fuck that heat, I'm good." So, anyways, yeah, okay. For me, because I know George's gonna talk a little bit. Basically, what we've been doing to beat the heat, I mean, so far it hasn't got the 110 the last couple. It's been like in the hundreds, but not as hot. But we've been taking the kids. We have 2 big splash pads in our city, so we kind of take them there to go. Or actually, we have 3. But we take them to 2 major ones because they're kind of a little tucked away and they're a little bit more, not as known to like everybody. So we've been keeping them as splash pads. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to take the boat out because there's this whole golden mussel thing in the lakes. So we haven't been able to take the boat out. But we did go to another city that had an aquatic center. We have an aquatic center, but it's not big. But we went to another city that had a bigger aquatic center. We went there, and then my mother-in-law lives in that city. And so we were able to get like the resident charge to go in there. So that, if you do have an aquatic center, that was, really cool to jump into. And then potentially next year, what we're planning on doing is signing up for season passes. So we could kind of go whenever we want if it gets too hot. So, that's what we're doing. Obviously, staying inside. Crazily enough, like this year, my solar's been like kicking ass, and we've been keeping the AC on, and our true up bill is nowhere near it was last year. So I don't know what's going on with the sun out here this year. But our AC is on constantly. One thing, I don't know if you guys have 2-story houses, but one thing that I found out, and one of my coworkers told me about this, was like, don't run, because we have dual zone. He was telling me, don't run the downstairs AC, run the upstairs AC, and it actually keeps the downstairs AC cooler, and you don't have to run both or anything like that. So I think maybe doing that now has been helping with the heat. But yeah, I'm not. The thing is, our heat is not humid. So that's the good thing. And I know,
Right.
your guys' heat, it could be a nice 70 degrees or, let's just say 85 degrees. But if it's 60% humidity, it's going to be miserable regardless of the heat. It's the
That's
humidity.
hopeful thinking. 60%.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like I said, that's what we've been doing to beat the heat. Just kind of little ideas that we got going on. So, yeah. I mean, that's what I got. New York,
Well,
you're up, sir.
hold
Or,
on, real quick.
Yeah,
I wanted
yeah.
to say you were talking about y'all can't take the boat out. Well, at least they're telling you guys no. Here, we could take the boat out, but because of the hurricane that happened in September, E. coli is running rampant through our waters.
Oh,
So it's pretty much like a don't swim, but swim at your own risk kind of thing. Well, you don't want to.
right.
I hope people aren't, but so I mean, you can still go out there, but it's like you can't get in the water,
Yeah.
and that makes it even more miserable.
Yeah, because that's the thing too. Like, we have the Delta out here where I live, and it's brackish water, so it's salt water, fresh water mixed. And we actually, the wife's like, I'm not swimming in that. So we always take our boat to a freshwater lake. It's a fresh water lake, and they don't want these golden mussels to invade into the freshwater lakes that we have. Because like, what's the point of taking the boat out if you can't get in the water? And then like in our delta, they have blue algae in certain areas, so like that stuff's like poisonous to pets, and I'm good. If it's poisonous to pets, I'm sure it's poisonous to me too. So again, we don't go into the delta water. So what's the point for us if you can't get into the water to take the boat out? So yeah,
Right.
if there's E. coli in the water,
Oh,
yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
So how much was your energy bill?
I have to take a look, but our energy bill, like true up bill, is general. Like last year, it was like $1,500. Um, the year before
for how long?
a year, a year.
Oh,
Yeah.
what? 1,500 for a year?
Well, because like we pay like it's like $50 a month or whatever, and then our true up bill at the end of the year that we got was like $1,500. But it like slowly climbed up. And so, like right now, if I was to take a look at it, I want to say it's like at $100.
What is true up?
So when you have solar, it's basically the difference between if you're using more energy or producing more energy. So if your solar panels produce more energy, then they'll pay you, right? They'll give you a refund if your solar panels are producing more. But on our house, we only could put so much, and like when they did the numbers, it only rated it at 98% of what we're using. So we were gonna have a true up bill no matter what. But the first year again, it was like $1,500, and I want to say, and here's the crazy part: that's actually cheaper than when we didn't have solar. Because when we didn't have solar during the summertime, our bills were close to $900. So like 600, 700, 800,
Right.
yeah, a month. And we weren't getting nothing out of it. So to
Okay.
sit here and have a $1,500 bill at the end of the year versus,
Yeah.
paying, $300 a month, $400 a month. And then after, during June, July, August, September, they're $600, $700, $800, $900. And then in the wintertime, it goes up because we're using gas because we have the water heater and the our furnace and all that stuff. So then it stays around the $600, $700 because now we're using the heater. So now what we did is we have solar panels, and then we're just put out we use electric heaters in the rooms. So we're not using
Like little
the
space
gas.
heaters?
Yeah, little space heaters.
That eats up a lot of electricity.
But it's being subsidized by our solar, so it still breaks out even. But not, like right now, generally our probably true up bill would be generally around $600, $700, and I want to say this past month it just got to $100. So that's all I was saying.
Okay.
Like I don't know what's going on with the sun out here, but these solar panels are kicking ass. And then like you go into the app, it actually tells you like what is the performance of your solar panels. So I was like, okay.
I literally just paid my bill for this month, and it was $227.
That's not bad. Is that high for you guys? Is it about average?
A little high.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind if it was that,
right?
But I mean, when it like 2 years, the first 2 years we were here, we are like, we got to do something because these PG&E bills are getting crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it'd be if you paying $200 a month, that's $2,400 a year.
Right, and that's not bad. I mean, for us, that wouldn't have been that bad because our
Well,
But
not
mine
originally, but I
goes-
mean, compared to the solar panels, that's pretty awesome.
But
yeah,
but mine goes like this, right?
Right.
When
Well,
my
yeah.
power goes down, gas goes up. When gas goes down, power comes up.
right. I know.
Oh, and so keep this in mind. I also run my mini split 24/7.
Is the mini split supposed to be a better than an actual? The mini split's supposed to be a better unit than an actual central AC, isn't it? It's like more efficient.
I've got that running at like 71 24/7 as well. It's better to it's better to leave it running
Yeah, than it
is to turn it off and turn it back on, turn it off and turn it back on.
Yeah, because then you have to like, it's hot.
Heat down the
Yeah, and then you got that's the same thing. That's why we just keep it at 72 degrees or something upstairs, and it just kind of keeps the whole house cool. Because, or what we'll do is we'll open up the house first thing in the morning when it's nice and cool, and then it'll kind of air it out. And
What is that?
Right. Obviously, we live in different parts of the country, so but yeah, we'll normally do that. Let the house cool off, and then we'll close it up, and then turn the AC on. So yeah. Okay. All right, NjordGod, what you got for us?
All right. A little bit of who's that actor again? All right.
Oh,
Matthew McConaughey.
Yep, Matthew.
Yeah, there we
McConaughey.
go. So what do you do to prevent heat stroke, right? Because when you're in my neck of the woods, Krinlee's neck of the woods, that is a very, very real thing that can happen, and it can happen quick. When you're an individual that, like me, that works outside and is in it 24/7, you need to prepare. It's not something you wake up Monday morning and be like, okay, I'm ready for this heat. That's not the case. On Sunday, put down your alcoholic beverages. Okay, you can drink it up Friday night, drink it up Saturday, but don't drink them on Sunday. Switch over to water, right? Electrolytes. You need to start preparing yourself for this next week. One of the things that I do is I have 2 boxes of liquid IV that are on my truck. I'm also responsible for making sure my guys don't have any heat related illness as well. So just kind of keeping an eye on them. If you stop sweating, you're too late. Get out of the heat and start hydrating. One of the big things that guys in my industry we make a mistake on is we've been working outside. It's been 3, 4, 5 hours, and we go jump in that truck. Blast the AC, right? Roll up the windows. And then we get to our next job site. We have to work. Leave the windows rolled down. You can turn the AC on, but leave them down. That way your body cools down, but it doesn't forget that it needs to be acclimated to the heat. That's going to save you a lot. Shady spots, make sure you got some places to take a rest. Make sure you take your breaks, guys. I know you want to get the job done, but you need a lot more breaks during this heat than you typically would take. Now let's get on to things outside of just work. Let's look at, what do I do? Who works outside every day to be with my kid, right? Obviously, I don't want to be outside. In fact, I had a full-blown conversation and semi-agreement compromise with my wife that during the summer, I'm not required to go to outside events. Now, the rest of the year, I am. But we have a membership to the Kids Discovery Center, right? So you can get them out, go to the museum. Like they said, pool days, indoor aquatic times, those are great. A lot of places around here are also popping up like indoor playgrounds. Okay. Those are kind of cool. Keeps you out of the weather. They're nice. They're insulated. They're cool.
Is that like the ones that are like on Blippi, like those types of indoor playground type things?
You act like I've seen that.
How do you know the excavator?
Well, you know
song,
what
but you don't know
Blippi
what
is.
Blippi
Don't
is?
even.
No, I know who Blippi is. I just don't know that what you're talking about.
Oh well, he does a lot
mean,
of
he goes
reviews on indoor
a lot.
playgrounds.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're like they're indoor for the kids. They little jumpies, little play structures for them. Like you have to like get checked in. But yeah, a lot. We actually started watching him because he was doing like the walkthroughs / little reviews about the different places that had indoor playgrounds. And I'm pretty sure that's how he kind of was able to kind of like maybe work with whoever owned it and get like, oh, okay, hey, if you let me tour it around in my videos, that we're in Washington. As I remember when he was in Washington, he was like, yeah, we're at the whatever Discovery place or whatever, and it was an indoor playground. So that was that's how we found Blippi. So
Yeah, I think those are a little higher end than the ones that are around me. I mean, these have like, there's one that's really cool. It's got like this air tube maze, and you can pull different levers, right? And you go back down to the end where it's got the suction. It's a vacuum, right? And you put in like a handkerchief, like these colored handkerchiefs, and it'll suck it up. These are clear tubes, so you can watch it go through all the tubes, and then it spits it out. And it's got different places to spit it out depending on how you turn these valves.
Right. And
so just kind of like
place that was like that, yeah. So yeah, it's something similar to that. And that's cool because they get to see, like, oh, okay, if I do turn this valve, how is this gonna work and all that stuff. So yeah, okay, yeah. So indoor playground.
My wife is big on like sensory hours at the library, right? Lowe's, Home Depot, they've got stuff for kids on the weekends inside, like arts and crafts type deal things. Right. So if you've got a kid who likes building some things, guess what? Get them over there. What else? I'm a big movie fan, so guess what? I'm gonna take her to go see a movie. We just went and saw Lilo and Stitch like 2 weeks ago. That was fun.
Yeah, movies.
Didn't like the movie.
Yeah, definitely a big
that was
pastime.
fun.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, we made homemade ice cream today.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like literally, we got done at like 7 p.m. my time, which it's like past 8:30. It's 9 o'clock now, but like we made mint chocolate chip ice cream today, and she got to take 2 bites. It's not completely done yet, right? It's got to sit up in the freezer for a couple hours, but she got to take a couple bites. But I'm talking like full blown ice, rock salt, the whole shebang.
Did you have an ice maker, or did you guys do it like in a pan or whatever?
No, it's like this device where it spins the canister.
Yeah. Okay,
right?
Yeah, we have one of those too. You put the rock salt, but you got to do it fast because if you wait too long, it'll harden the ice cream and it won't. It won't spin. We learned that the hard way.
Oh, okay, good to know.
You got to do it pretty quick, otherwise it won't spin. So yeah, okay, no, that's awesome.
But yeah, so as far as like heat, guys, make sure you're staying safe. Your family needs you home. Right. Okay. Heat is the #1 weather-related killer in the world, so be aware of that. Okay, more so than hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, all of that. Heat is the #1 killer. And then go enjoy some time with your family outside of the heat.
There was one thing you just kind of reminded me that I wanted to add to that too is clothing. Right, so like when we go to like the pool days, I actually wear a sun shirt. I don't put on sunscreen. Like the kids like to put on sunscreen or whatever, but I wear a full-blown long sun shirt. That's a UV shirt. And I get into the pool, with it on or whatever the case is. Yep. And then, it's really quick drying. So, one thing to add would be to cover up. You would think that in the heat, you'd want to like...
Long sleeve
hat that covers your... Like one of the things that my father-in-law, he was in construction for 40 years. But he wore a regular baseball
on the top
hat.
Of the ear.
Yeah, and he actually ended up getting like cancer there. Then they have to like cut the
melanoma.
Yeah, and the skin cancer there. So keep those little things in mind too. You're out in the heat, cover up. Use I don't know what the hats are called, but like a safari hat situation or a fisherman's hat where it'll cover your ears and all that stuff too. And even if you're a fisher, which I'm sure you guys are anglers or whatever, that if use a face mask, to help block the sun if you got to, sunglasses, like fully cover
I'm
up.
good.
Well, okay. So just one of the things I want to add to what you were saying definitely is
Light colors. Light colors. You don't want dark colors either.
Now, why is that,
Okay.
Njord? Please educate us.
So light colors is going to repel, right? The sun. Dark colors absorb. So those darker colors are going to insulate and heat more and more. So you definitely want to go more so light colors than dark.
And all my sun shirts are either white or they're like a bluish, like a really light blue
Weird.
or something. You're right.
Weird, right?
Right. Okay. Yeah. So heat, it's not getting as hot. Now let me ask you this though. Even with all that, let's talk about the humidity. Right? Is humidity more of a consideration to take than the actual heat? And I can't answer this question because
I would say so. I've lived in both areas.
Okay.
Right. Man, I could blast out a California summer all day, every day.
Right.
I mean, you stand in one spot too long, yeah, you might burn a little bit, okay? But the humidity and the age old, like, but it's a dry heat. You know what I mean? The humidity does kill you. It's suffocating. It drains you, and because you're waterlogged on the outside, it's already pulling that sweat out of you even more.
Okay. So,
Oh god, and the worst thing ever is that you get that little cold front that comes in the middle of the day, and you get some rain, like 5 minutes, and then it moves out. Krinlee. The humidity and the heat after that rain immediately moves out is the most miserable time of your life.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. Especially if you're out in the rain, because the rain gets you wet. The humidity's pulling it out of you. The sun's beating down on you. Oh.
Okay.
Just be happy you work inside.
Right. Okay. Well,
I am.
You
I chose my profession for a reason.
No, I was talking to Sean.
Oh, I mean,
Oh.
I don't necessarily work inside. Like, I mean, I'm not in your kind of heat either, and I don't, dig ditches either for a living. But I am out in it when I have to do compliance checks and all that stuff. But I mean, in no comparison. Like today, it was like 62 degrees doing compliance checks, so it was not bad. And then when I finally got home, it's like 96 degrees. It's still not that bad. So, yeah, I don't do that. No.
That was yesterday.
Yeah, I don't do that. So, and we appreciate, and that, you know what, I'm gonna tell you, if you guys are out there working in these conditions, you guys don't get paid enough money. You know what I'm saying?
I'm in there.
Yeah.
You're in that.
I'm in
hole,
that photo. I'm in that photo.
But in the hole. Oh yeah, you're in the hole. Yeah, I'm
Yeah, I bet that shirt was a lighter blue when you put it on.
Yeah, so
It was.
yeah, you guys deserve more because going out there and doing what you guys do, just I mean any utility, let it be water, let it be electricity, let it be anything,
Gas,
sewer, cable,
yeah,
sewer, even the guys that do the what's that stuff called, the septic tank stuff, like. I know.
Oh, yeah,
they're considered sewer.
Ruda.
Okay.
They're considered sewer.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like that, yeah. It has to get done.
Yeah, forget the cable guys. Forget the cable guys, okay? Like they're not a utility.
Oh, okay.
They're not a necessity, but they are a utility. Well, not technically a utility. I mean, it's a luxury, but that's what I'm saying. They're not a necessity.
To be fair,
like water.
To be fair, out of all of the utilities, there is only one that is a necessity. Actually, two.
Okay, well, we know one is water.
Okay, what's the other one?
I don't know. I gave my choice.
Agriculture.
No, what's the second one?
I want to say electricity is what I want to say.
Okay.
I want to say agriculture.
That's not a utility.
You want to eat?
That's not a utility. That's farming.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I'm going with electricity.
Okay.
Utility.
So you got
water and electricity is what I'm saying.
I mean, I can't think of another one honestly besides water.
Okay, so I can do without anything else other than water and sewer. I don't want the Black Plague coming back.
Okay.
Okay, think about
Nah.
this: how we survived. We built entire populations around water with no electricity. Is it gonna suck? Yes, it's gonna suck. Okay, but we can survive.
Yeah.
You can't survive without water. You can't survive
You can't
without
just throw your
some kind of
You can't
sewage.
just throw your shit out in the street like they used to do in the medieval times. You just
No,
take
that's
the
why we
bucket-
had the Black Plague.
Right, you just take the piss and just toss it out the window? No, you can't do that no more.
No, that's kind of frowned upon.
Okay, all right. And that makes sense, but yeah, I never thought about, sewer being its own separate utility from like water. Because you got to bring in
like-
the water and then you got to like get rid of it, right?
Well-
I don't work with sewer. The sewer here is a completely separate company.
Okay. Well, good for you. That means you don't got to deal with people's shit.
Now at Johnson City, back when I went to Johnson City, we were water sewer. We were all one.
That's how it is here too.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, they're not
School.
one. Then they're separate, but there's still a water department and they're part of it.
Yeah.
Okay,
There's
school.
like
School.
wastewater, fresh water, and then
School.
Right. Yeah.
School?
Mine are getting ready to go back to school. Again,
Okay.
about 11 days. And right now, what we're waiting on is our teachers to see who our kids got assigned to, because that's like the big thing right now. So what teacher did you get? What teacher did you get? So we're getting ready for that. I think sometime next week, we're supposed to find out, and then we're supposed to do like a school walkthrough to get the meet and greet the teacher. Then they're going to give us a little syllabus to, okay, these are the supplies that they need. And it's a little bit hectic because we would like to have more time. Like, I think they go back in like 2 weeks, and then so we'll have less than a week to get all their school supplies that's required or whatever. And
Wow.
we always make sure that we always get extra for the classroom and all that stuff for the other kids or whatever the case is. Get extra like paper towels and tissue and all that stuff as well. So that's basically what we're waiting on. Our kids are in year-round school, and I appreciate year-round school because it keeps their summer short. Enough time to go on a couple trips and do a couple things, and then right back into school. And then throughout the school year, we're able to plan trips when it's like a lower, when not that many people are out. Like, our spring break doesn't line up with other people's spring break. We get an additional, time off during the winter time. So we get a fall break, I believe, and then you get the winter break. So we're not waiting until then. And then they're normally like, because like Thanksgiving is kind of like a long weekend. During the Thanksgiving time, I want to say they get like a week and a half or something like that. So that's why I really like the year-round school. So as far as school, that's what we're getting ready for. And yeah, I mean, they're getting stir crazy too. They're asking a million questions nonstop. And so, that's basically that's what I got going on as far as school. What about you guys?
Well, it's funny. My son, he's going into kindergarten. He was in pre-K last year.
Mm-hmm.
But like for the first few weeks after school let out, he kept waking up in the morning being like, I go to school? And we had to be like, no, school's out right now. But it's funny. Like they sent our supplies list out weeks ago. And we go back mid-August.
Okay. Do you guys is your school like K through 8 or something like that, where they do the middle school as well, or?
No, it's K through 5.
Yeah, ours is the same way too. Okay, all right. Njord, what you got going
But
on? Oh,
well,
no, go ahead, Krinlee. If you got more, we're just trying to keep things rolling.
but no, I'm just gonna say. I mean, they're ready. Luckily, my kids have been like 8 o'clock is their bedtime. Like my daughter, she's the older one. I could tell her like you can stay up if you want, but usually around 8 o'clock, she's like, I'm ready for bed. She goes and lays down.
Right. Okay.
My son, it's about 8 o'clock every night. He's ready for bed anyway. So I mean, but he'll wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning wide open.
Mm.
But I think they're ready to get back to school. They just, but yeah, fortunately we got our supplies list weeks ago, so I mean we kind of
That
have a
makes
heads
sense.
up on what we want. I mean, we got this thing called Class Dojo, where
We have that too. Yep.
okay, so yeah, the school itself sent out a supplies list for every grade weeks
Okay.
ago on ours.
We got
But
that,
I mean,
and we got something called Aries. So it's like the Class Dojo stuff is for stuff like that from the teachers, and then like this Aries app is like for like admin stuff. So I haven't seen
huh.
anything come across our dojo yet, and maybe because I'm not like maybe I need to log into it or something, and maybe they did send something, but
But yeah. So we should be good to go. The kids I know are ready to get back at it. So, but yeah, Njord, what do you got?
Nothing. Mine's not even in kindergarten yet.
what?
Yeah, I know.
You're talking about school.
They got pre-K.
School.
You gonna do that
So,
or?
but she did. So, I think I said the wife started back up work, right? So we had to find daycare, and let's see. She just started on Monday. But what's kind of cool is we got her into a private Christian school. It's a she's in the 3-year-old class. She can already pass the test for the kindergarten exam. Kindergarten
I
assessment.
knew you guys were doing some stuff at home with her as well, anyway, right?
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I mean we've definitely been working with her, and like I said, I'm sitting here and it's kind of hard, right? Because I'm telling these people there, right? I'm like, I know every parent thinks their kid is smart, but like I've got doctors who can prove it, right? And I'm like, she can take that test now. Is there any way we can accelerate her? They're like, no, we'd rather not. We'd rather her be the same age with the people in her class and all that. I'm like,
which makes sense,
yeah,
know.
I get it.
Especially for starting out.
Yeah, but what's kind of nice about this place is because we have her enrolled already.
Mm-hmm.
She's as soon as kindergarten comes around, she's already a shoe in to start in the school. We don't have to go through the application phase or anything like that.
Yeah.
But my sister actually just got hired as a teacher for a private academy. And actually, I don't know if it's private. It might be public, but you actually have to test into this school.
It might be charter.
Cool. It could be charter.
Yeah.
Now, what's cool about this is that she gets 50% off tuition, right? First off, she's like, "Oh yeah, you guys should totally try to get her to come to my school." I'm like, "Well, how much is tuition?" She goes, "Now don't freak out." I'm like,
Right, I'm gonna freak out.
Right.
Yeah, that part. I am gonna.
She
do
goes-
exactly that.
She goes, "It's $19,000." I'm like, "Oh, what?"
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm not paying for college yet. Okay,
Right. And that's not even. But yeah, wow.
She goes, but, and then she finally got hired, and she goes, I get a 50% discount, plus, with Arkansas's Learns Act that came out, right? Money now follows the kid, not the school district.
Mm-hmm.
So, the money that would be allocated for baby Freya would then go with her to whatever school she's going to. So it would be brought 50% off would be $9,500, right? Plus an extra $6,000. So now my tuition is $3,500 a year. I'm interested.
Right.
Right? I'm like, that level of education in Arkansas? Okay. But I gotta pay for it,
Yeah. And that's as it semester, or is it for the year?
Year.
Okay.
That's for the year.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's where we're at.
okay. Yeah, me, if we lived originally where we were in, we were gonna have to pay for private school, and at the time it was $750 a month. and then like the breakdown was let me see here. What's that? $750 a month, and I was gonna have to pay that. So times 12. So that'd have been $9,000 a year. But like his mom was supposed to pay like 250, and I was gonna pay the 500 a month if we were gonna stay there. And it was a Christian academy, or no, it was Catholic.
Mhm.
And so his mom's a Christian, and she was like, "Oh, well, it's not a Christian school, so I'm not gonna pay for that." And I'm just like, "Well, it's the top-rated school, and it's a feeder school into like some of the better Catholic schools, right? Like high schools and things like that." And so we ended up finding another school, and then that was a Christian school or whatever. So we were kind of get them signed up for that. And this is like my oldest one, so this is many, many, many years ago. And then it was like then she just couldn't pay it, so like before we like signed them up for it or whatever. She was like, okay, well, I'm gonna have a hard time paying it, and I'm like, okay, well, at that point we ended up deciding to move out of that area and move further out to where they have better public schools, where we had to basically pay more in rent, but then we could send them to a better public school versus being in we're not in an unsafe area, but let's just say it's not the best area. And
weird. Me too.
So to send them to public school where we were, I didn't want that, so I was like, well, you know what, we'll pay more in rent and go further out so we could put them in a better situation, number one, and then number two, a better public school. So ever since then, that's kind of like, and so, yeah. So that's basically that there.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, guess what?
What?
We're right at time.
Yeah, we are right at time. Let's see here.
I think we struggled a little bit tonight, if I'm being honest.
Well, you know what? It's like I haven't had a chance. Like, doing this stuff takes a lot of time. So like I've been, putting out like blogs on the website, which shout out to shadowpackwest.com. Got a bunch of different blogs up there. I did talk about the boat that I think that just dropped like last week or something like that. And so anyways, doing that, and then I'm doing a lot of teaching at work, and that just takes a lot of mental, we're redoing material
capacity.
Yeah, so it's just like I can't think about that and then worry about, and I'm doing a bunch of like PowerPoint stuff, so it's like taking my creative juices away to be like, oh hey, let's talk about XYZ, and so anyways, we did, but you know what, it was honestly for me, it was about getting together. You know what I'm saying? Like, just, hey, how you guys doing? Let's check in, make sure all the families are good, and, kind of let the folks know, hey, one viewer, no viewers, whatever, we're still going to put out the content because it's not necessarily, it'd be great to have, 1 million followers, but we're here for each other. You know what I'm saying? I think that's always been the premise for the Dad's Life podcast is that, hey, let's check in with each other and make sure we're good. Kind of talking about that as we wrap up the show here, is I just ran into one of my coworkers today, and he looked a little tired or whatever, and he got a newborn baby, and then and then he has like a 3-year-old, I think maybe 3 years old or 2 years old or something. So I kind of gave him the Dad's Life advice, make sure you take time for yourself. Yes, you want to be the good husband, but make sure you let her know that she should deserve time for herself, but as you should deserve time for yourself, and then reserve time for each other. Like, it's a long haul, and you're going to be working, and then get home and you're tired and you're snapping at the kids, and now she looks at you sideways, and you guys just have to have a really good open communication about what's going on, especially at this time. So yeah, I kind of just gave him the little Dad's Life stuff, and kind of put me back. Oh yeah, we got a show tonight. Let's kind of tap in with each other, see what's going on, and so yeah, that's what it's about. Just making sure that we're okay. And that's the one thing I said to him was like, get a hobby. Don't feel like it's selfish. You want to make sure, and we talked about it in many episodes about self-care is not selfish, and kind of getting in here and making time for the things that you want to do. Make sure you do it. So yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I guess a couple things before we wrap up. shadowpackwest.com. And because Njord had put out a great idea, and Krinlee's been out there killing it on his streams on his base. Go ahead and check out, and it's youtube.com/@Mr. And he does his streams. He was streaming a little bit earlier today. He's been streaming multiple times during the week. So go ahead and check him out, and I'll make sure I put that description. I'll put the link in the description of this video going forward. So yeah, shout out to you. Actually, I haven't even done the horns this episode. So let's go ahead and give him the horns.
Just in case this button failed, you still heard it, okay?
Right. And it didn't fail. It actually hit right when you guys said it too. So that's all I got. Krinlee, you got anything before we wrap it up?
I'm gonna go ahead and shout out my coworker, who you may not be able to see it, but it's Ivory and Burgundy. The throat cancer awareness or ribbon colors. My coworker who had the radiation, he's still going through all that. But I mean, he finished radiation, but waiting for results and everything. So,
okay.
Shout out to him.
Okay, well, shout out to him. Let's give him the horns too. Hopefully for a speedy recovery.
Yeah. He's doing pretty good. I gotta say.
Good.
He was a trooper through the whole thing.
Yeah, I love the fact that you're rocking that too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Oh yeah.
Shout out to that. Njord, you got anything?
I'm just gonna say it again. Be weather wise. I mean, it goes beyond storms.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, just kind of pay attention.
Right. I mean, the flooding right now is like one of the. It's in the news right now. But yes, other things. Especially if you're out there working. Njord, thank you for giving us that. Because where I'm at, it's not as relevant, but I'm sure, again, you being a supervisor where you're at and making sure the safety of other people that are working with you, if you guys are outside working, he always advocates for, making sure if you're working outdoors that you're being safe. So, great shout out on all that, especially now.
And it's definitely do as I say, not as I do. Okay.
I'm gonna leave that to your guys' interpretation. Okay, so that means go ahead.
Dang it. Oh yeah, and we're getting ready to go into our tornado season part 2. So that's another one.
When is tornado season for you guys? Like normally? Spring
and like late fall, winter.
Okay. So basically it's like winter all the way into spring. And then there's a break.
No. We get a break during actual winter.
Okay.
It's like late fall, beginning winter. Like it's when the two heat and cold start mixing.
When the major seasons change.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, shout out. Make sure you guys. Again, I remember when you were tracking those, that you didn't even use the NOAA system. You used that guy that you follow because he was actually reporting more stuff.
Faster.
Yeah, and that's the thing too about natural disasters like that. The information, and that's funny that you said like internet is not necessarily a utility, but depending on where you're at, it may be a necessity for getting alerts like that. You know what I'm saying? And being able to be safe and keep your family safe and all that stuff. The technology's out there, and but now I'm rambling at this point. Okay, if we're all done. Shout out to all the patrons that are out there. Head over to shadowpackwest.com. You can start your patronage as little as $1 a month, but if you're just a regular Patreon member, you can get access, 1 day early access to the blogs that are dropping on the website. I got them once a week going for at least another couple months, I believe. Every Friday there'll be a new one, so you'll be able to get access to it on Thursday if you're just a non-paid member. But again, if you want to get access to all of our After Dark stuff, which is 33 episodes of that over there. And then again, I know tonight we're skipping After Dark, but eventually we get back into those. You'll get access to all those. There is one free After Dark, which is Trump prior to his inauguration. And then we actually just dropped one, Trump 6 months later. So but that one's paid. The first one's free. The second one
you gotta pay for that one.
You gotta pay for the second one. And again, you can start your patronage as little as a month. Head over to shadowpackwest.com. You'll see the Patreon button there. And if you guys don't got anything else, I want to say thank you, everybody, for listening and tuning in to this week's episode of the Dad's Life Podcast. We hope that you tune into the next episode of the Dad's Life Podcast, where you can get your dad life, dad advice. Peace out.
I think we all three threw the peace sign at the exact same time.
Hey, we can coordinate